Welcome to the Halloween edition of Stating the Obvious. And this time we're going to be bringing you some spooky facts, I hope, at least. You guys have gotten facts that are, on topic. And we are going to be starting it off here with Pranay. Pranay, state something spooky for us.
Okay, I will say something. I just have a question though. Like, how do you decide who goes first?
It's
Like,
just...
it's just a roll of the dice.
It's just a roll of the dice. Yeah.
I feel like this one usually picks on Pranay, though.
Like,
It's just...
I feel like this
to
is
be
a
fair,
thing.
Look,
Pranay's
if you-
never ready, so it's always good to make him go first.
Hey, the last two times I was ready. Last two
Pranay's
times
been
I was
adapting. This was gonna have to switch it up.
Yeah.
ready. Okay, I'm prepared this time
good
too.
note, good note. Yeah, I'll keep it.
My obvious fact is Halloween is the second most commercial American holiday of the year.
After
Obviously,
Christmas,
the first
I
one is
assume?
Christmas
Yeah.
is the first. But Halloween candy, buy a lot of candy, buy a lot of decorations, buy a lot of costumes, buy a lot of Halloween items. You buy a lot of things.
You do?
Honestly, I feel like stores
Apparently-
would make more off Thanksgiving. I don't know, because I feel like you buy so much food.
No, it's mostly just turkeys, right? Like maybe, I don't know, cranberries.
I feel like
I mean, but like some people, like when they do Thanksgiving, they like it's not just turkey. It's just like an entire feast.
this is fair.
It's not just like a turkey and some cranberries.
Yeah.
Like even like I don't like we don't celebrate Thanksgiving the same way, but we still have like a Thanksgiving, like a quote unquote Thanksgiving get together with like family and friends usually.
I see.
And like, obviously we do not have a turkey. We have like Indian brown.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Noah makes a turkey though
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving. Why
That's
are
a
we
big
talking
one.
about Thanksgiving in the Halloween edition episode though? This is
I don't
this
know.
is
Like,
incorrect.
It's fall. It's like fall themed. I don't
Or
know.
If
No, we're
companies
taking
can
it back.
start doing Christmas before Halloween even happens, we can talk about Thanksgiving in the Halloween episode.
Okay, but like now we're just perpetuating the problem, right? Like the problem should be that
We are
we
part of the-
the solution should be that we just like talk about holidays when they happen, ignore them the rest of the
Great.
year.
Then we ignore any other holiday for the rest of this episode.
Indeed,
Yeah.
Noah.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Please state something spooky for us.
Yeah, here's a spooky thing. No other holidays exist except for Halloween.
That is quite spooky.
What?
Because we're not
What is-
acknowledging the existence of any other holidays right now. Halloween is the
Oh.
only holiday.
That joke went.
It has always
that
been the
joke
only
went
holiday.
Somehow-
right over Jit than Pranay.
Somehow
Yeah.
Noah was less prepared than Renee, and I'm
I
honestly a
was
bit
prepared.
shocked.
I had to be prepared because you guys were just like, "Oh yeah, Noah probably knows like the history of Halloween." Like I'm fucking Wikipedia or something. Like just because I'm interested in history in general doesn't mean I'm like, "Ooh, I'm gonna go learn about the history of Halloween." Nobody does that.
No,
Not even history
no, I
nerds do that.
I expect you to know everything about everything.
Yeah, well,
This is
because
my
of
expectation
that
you.
expectation, unreasonable I might add, I had to go out and find some facts about Halloween, and here is an obvious fact. Well, it's not an obvious fact, but here's a fact about Halloween. The reason why Halloween is about like spooky spirits and ghosts is because of the Protestant Reformation, apparently. Halloween started out as All Hallows Eve, like a Catholic feast day about like like celebrating dead people, like saints or whatever. But then the Protestants came around and they were like, Catholics suck. So they're like, saints are evil spirits now because Catholics are shit. And yeah, eventually that turned into trick or treating for some reason.
Candy.
Interesting.
Candy.
Yay. Candy.
Candy.
Do you guys ever wonder what happens to like those like costume stores like Spirit like after Halloween?
Good old Spirit. They just closed. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but like somebody's like in charge of the company. I assume. Like I'm assuming they have like a CEO and everything. Like do those like people just kind of like not work for like 11 months out of the year? What are they doing?
The CEO is it.
It's like a
so
side gig, you know?
He comes back every now and then.
Like, it's not like it's their main job working at Spirit, right? It's just like something that they do to, make money every, like,
They are
year.
seasonal workers.
Man.
Mhm. Yeah.
Imagine being a CEO and still being a seasonal worker.
Oh, lol.
That actually would be so.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Uh,
I never thought about that. I'm sure it does have a CEO, but I don't know. Still spooky.
Spooky.
Oh, we gotta insert the scary skeletons music at some point as well.
Will we get
Come-
copyright strike
Come
for
do
that?
this.
We will do it. But right now, we need our final spooky fact from Mr. Jacob Malman.
All right. So my spooky fact is actually super spooky because it only happens on tomorrow. Well, actually today, because you'll be seeing this episode on Halloween. Is that the moon tonight on Halloween is going to be the second full moon of the month, which only happens once every 76 years. And apparently it's supposed to be like a really, really large moon, and it's supposed to be like the first full moon in Halloween in like, I don't know, since like World War II. So, super spooky, but obviously no one can go out. So that's a rip.
Yeah, this Halloween is like very optimal for not being able to.
Yeah, it's
Not
on a
being able to
Saturday
go out,
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Feels bad, man.
And
I mean,
there's
like,
an extra hour for
I don't
daylight
feel
savings.
too bad about it though. Like, cause whenever like they say that the moon's gonna be like super big, it never is. Like, you never notice it. Like, whenever I would like see like the news going like, oh wow, there's gonna be a super moon tomorrow night. Like, I'll go out and be like, that's just a moon.
No, how often do you actually look at the moon though?
Relatively often. I don't know. Like, I look at it when they say there's gonna be a super moon, and when they say there's gonna be a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are like actually cool. Super moons are not.
I think blood
Okay,
moons
well,
are
so
like
you know what?
pretty
It's
legit,
super
though.
moon. It's on Halloween. Okay, it's Halloween. It's on a Saturday, and there's an extra hour because of daylight savings. It's all just so optimal, and it's just unfortunate that there is a pandemic.
Quite unfortunate.
Yep.
I wonder when, like, the next time we will have all these things come together.
I
Wonder when that is.
Long
Mm.
time.
Probably just a
I
math.
don't know.
It's a mathematical.
How are you? That's way too much to.
Also,
I'm
like,
good.
who cares?
Yeah. We don't even celebrate Halloween anymore.
That is. I mean, yeah. Last time I did something for Halloween was, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, like, honestly,
Sometime middle school,
look,
probably.
yeah. Well, when you're younger, you go like trick or treating, and like, yeah, like fun. But and then you expect like as you get older, there will be like Halloween parties and stuff. But honestly, like, not really my experience with it.
Not gonna lie,
So-
maybe it's just because we never got invited to Halloween parties.
True.
Rip. Wait, there's Halloween parties?
I feel like there are. At least this is what movies
Yeah.
tell me. Movies are not the most reliable
that's
source
I
true.
feel
of
like,
information.
especially in college, there like had to be something like that. But
I
I'm
mean,
trying
like,
to
okay, well, like, I
think.
know that there's Halloween parties around. Like, I just, like,
Yeah, there were like
obviously I'm not
Halloween parties
invited.
at my college like last year, but like really they were just like the normally scheduled parties, but people were like come in costumes.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty much
Ah.
it.
interesting. Well, I think the movies have failed me.
Yeah, I've been lied to, bamboozled even. So-
But you know who won't lie to you?
Ooh.
Us, dear listener. Because we only tell the
Yeah,
truth
we only spit facts.
whole truth
Straight facts,
and
man.
nothing but the truth. Yep, we're spitting straight facts. Call me a Xerox. That was so bad. Can we just like
Cut that out, cut that out, cut that
yeah,
out, cut that out.
Just like cut that out, cut that out.
Get it out. Don't worry. No one heard it. No one heard it.
Yeah, no one heard it. We have lost like whatever interest we had. Like the audience in like Sweden was just like, this is terrible.
It wasn't even Sweden in the first place, and now they're definitely gone.
Oh my!
It was Ireland.
Who was it? Ireland? I could have sworn you
Yeah.
said Sweden.
I'm pretty sure it's both.
No.
I'm
Oh,
pretty
is
sure
it
it's
both?
both.
Well,
Okay, well, we
either
just
way.
lost both. Okay, either way. What did you guys used to do in middle school for Halloween and stuff? I know, like, Cobb and I used to go, like, we'd have these mass escapades with all the, at least in elementary school. I forgot when's the last time we did it, but we had, like, our entire friend group. We just, like, go in a
Yeah,
gang.
I remember
walk
for
up
like
to
every
people.
Halloween, like later half of elementary school, like early half of middle school, maybe even throughout middle school. I don't really remember too closely, but we used to like gather like a group of like, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 kids and just like go out together. It
Jesus.
was like such a huge group of kids. And every year we used to do it.
How's your hall though?
And we roll up onto a house and we'll be like, trick or treat. And then the person sees all of us and they're like, oh, fuck. I guess I need to go back to Walmart.
Yeah, honestly, people. I feel like people did not like us, but we did it every year anyway.
Probably because also probably because they're just racist. So
Ah,
Yeah,
yes, that's
what
all
the
definitely
frick.
because
the
we're
cause.
brown and Asian.
Wait, so
You
what did
know,
you guys
You know,
use
so
for like your like bags of like candy? Like, did you use like pillowcases or did you have like
I
actual
had
like things?
I
Or
had okay. I remember Cobb actually like he just straight up had like this massive like I don't know if it was a grocery
Yeah,
bag or just like
it
what
was
kind
yeah.
of
I
like
used
sack. He just
I
had
used
like
the
a
same
sack.
bag every year. It was a like gift bag from Disney World. So it was like a
power
pretty high
move.
quality like bag for being a bag, obviously, but it was like pretty high quality and it was
Like
like pretty
oh yeah, I
strong.
remember. It was like a
Yeah, it
Mickey
had like
Mouse thing.
Mickey Mouse dressed as like a wizard. Yeah, that was the bag I used every year, and it
Yeah.
was pretty gigantic, so it could hold a bunch of stuff too, and it could like it wouldn't break. So yeah, that's why I used it. I never really used a pillowcase though.
I would have this. I would have this really. It's fairly small like pumpkin thing, but and it got super fucking heavy. Like
Oh yeah, dude.
you wouldn't think that it would get that
Yeah,
heavy
I remember
like
it
for
being
a
like
small
No.
actually
pumpkin boy.
worn out carrying that. Like I had to like put it over my shoulder and like adjust it every
it's
house.
probably because you were just a small, weak
Bro, I had this
child.
huge,
Like,
gigantic like bag full of candy, and I was like, oh man, that's
and
not for me.
honestly, like my candy haul was typically pretty like I don't even want to say average. It was like below average. Like I don't know, like the neighborhoods I lived in for most of my childhood, I guess they just weren't very generous.
Bro, you lived in
Feels
California. How is that even
bad.
possible?
Bro, what do you mean? How is that even possible? The cost of a house over there is like $2 million. You think anybody has the money to buy candy? And beyond that, like all the people in like my neighborhood were like Asian American like parents, and those are not are like those aren't like very charitable to begin with. Like they're not even gonna pay for their kids' school. You think they're gonna pay for like some other
Fair
kid's
enough.
Did
Halloween?
you get any obscure items, or was it always just like candy?
That was just
Yeah,
candy.
yeah, okay.
I feel like I got a dental item once, but I think that was about it.
What? What
Like it
the
was some
hell?
dentist house, and I got like this small little thing of toothpaste. I was like, okay,
I remember when PJ
I'll
and I
take
went
it.
out, there was
Yeah.
always this one house that
Yeah.
used to like give out like bags
Oh
of
yeah.
goldfish and pretzels and stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
goaded.
remember. And there was also this one house that had insane decorations, and we'd always hit that house last. Um, but like it would just have the most like they go really ham for Halloween.
Did any of your
Um,
guys' parents ever like try to like rifle through your candy? Like, cause I know there's like this like whole thing about like razor blades and Snickers bars or whatever.
oh shit, what the
Yeah,
hell?
like
Yeah,
that, I mean
it's
that was
kind of messed
based on
up.
like a
Never heard
true
of that.
story.
Yeah, but like apparently like the story was based on like the kid who died didn't actually die from like somebody else's candy. Uh like it was actually intentionally done by his dad to like collect his life insurance or something.
Bro,
Oh,
what?
holy
What the
shit!
Well,
fuck?
that takes
Yeah.
it to another
Apparently
level.
like
What the hell?
apparently
Okay,
like he
first
like
of all, why do they have life insurance on a kid? Like, what the? Like, that's sort of the first issue is. Second issue, just like this dad is kind of insane.
yeah.
Fucking
That's
psychopath.
the
okay.
second issue.
All right. I found the guy's Wikipedia page. I'll just like read it to you. Ronald Clark O'Brien, nicknamed the Candyman or the Man Who Killed Halloween, was an American man convicted of killing his 8-year-old son on Halloween 1974 with a cyanide-laced pixie stick that was ostensibly collected during a trick-or-treat outing. O'Brien poisoned his son in order to claim life insurance money to ease his own financial troubles, as he was $100,000 in debt. He also attempted to distribute poison candy to his daughter and 3 other children to cover up his crime. However, none of them ate the poison candy.
That's actually
To
like
cover up
very
his
messed up.
Wait a second.
Bro, he's trying to kill his son and his daughter. Jesus.
Yeah, dude, like, oh my.
What kind of human?
Yeah,
Like,
he
what
lived
kind of
in
human
Texas.
being
He
is
lived in Deer Park, apparently.
Good old
Jesus,
Texas.
where is Deer Park?
Yeah.
I thought we were getting to the creepy stories later on, but I guess here we are, right? So
Like honestly,
I mean-
even if the story's fake, I was never allowed to eat candy that was already like half open or like some even if there was
Well,
like
yeah,
a tiny
definitely.
tear in it, I was just like not eat
Okay,
it.
I mean, like, it's this literally? It's the father. The father is literally giving them the candy. Like, you can't have like at least these people can't have rule if the dad's literally just
Well,
like
yeah,
here,
I'm
eat
just
this,
saying
I'm
because
bad
of that
candy.
story. I just can't.
What?
Even nowadays,
Oh,
like if someone gives me like a piece of like some food or like some wrapped food and it has like a tiny tear in it, I just won't eat it.
Really?
If like I don't know the person, obviously. Yeah,
What if I give it to you, Cobb?
I don't know. You're kind of sus, man. Actually, if Noah
Oh no.
if Noah gave it to me, there's no way I'd eat it. Noah's always sus, but
What the fuck?
Oh
God.
This takes me back to our Among Us session
Somebody eject me. I want
where
to get out of here.
everyone always just blames Noah, and they
Yeah.
always like are somehow right when they blame him, but
Like,
it's just so nuts.
God, I hate it. Like, I'm legitimately, like, I'm so clean with it, right? I'm like sliding through,
Dude,
lights
it's-
off, stab in the back, vent out, no witnesses. And then they're just like, oh yeah, it was no. And then meanwhile, like, I'm in the middle of like 5 people. Viswa just like Viswa Pranay just comes up to me and just like stabs me in like broad daylight. And everyone's like, oh, who killed Noah? Who was that?
Dude, it's so
Honestly.
disgusting. Like Noah's kill is so disgustingly clean, and they all just blame him, even though he was like nowhere, and he has an alibi and everything, man.
it's because if Noah is an imposter and he's left alive, like we automatically lost.
Dude, you know what would be a good horror movie is like Real Life Among Us. Like if they made a live action like Among Us movie with like an actual imposter and like characters and everything, that'd be pretty cool. I'd watch that horror movie.
That'd be pretty.
Honestly, I feel like that would be
That would be
interesting, but the
cool.
imposters would need like a good incentive.
Yeah, obviously, add some plot, like give the characters some background. They all end up on the ship somehow. Like I don't know, you can do more with it. But I'm saying like as a base sort of like plot, it could be interesting.
That would be kind of, and like you could do it so like the story's told like from a GoPro on each of the people's like heads or whatever.
Yeah, like
I mean,
Blair Witch.
is it supposed to be like a mystery or like a thriller? Like, are you supposed to know who the imposter is at the beginning?
It could be like you also are trying to figure it out while like all this is happening, but it's also like I don't know how you do it, but I think something could be done with it.
I bet someone is already trying to do it.
Honestly, the one murder mystery movie I've watched is recently, at least, is Knives Out, and that was a really good movie.
I enjoyed that one.
I thought
It was such a good movie. Like it doesn't make up for Star Wars Episode 8, but like it was a damn good movie. Rian Johnson can make a good like mystery thriller movie. He just needs to stay the fuck away from Star Wars.
Agreed.
I didn't even realize it was a Ron Johnson movie.
Star Wars. I feel like Noah would have dressed up as a Star Wars
Disassociated
character.
him.
I did.
Yeah,
I dressed up as like. There's like only 2 times I can distinctly remember dressing up. One time was like at some point in elementary school. I honestly don't remember when. Dressed up as like a Jedi Knight, and then second time was when I was in middle school, and I just like bought like an off the shelf like stormtrooper costume.
I was always a Jedi Knight. I had a store bought like Obi-Wan costume, and I wore that pretty much every single year. Because
I mean, like it's all reliable.
It is, and it was expensive, so I had to get my use out of it.
You have to get your value out of it. I see you.
I remember early in the day, I always had this Captain Jack Sparrow outfit, which was actually pretty nice.
No
I had like
way.
this gun that I still have to this day. Yes.
I too was Captain. I dressed up as Captain Jack Sparrow for Halloween.
Wait. Did you ever buy like a Halloween costume?
Yeah.
Like did you bought this and did it have like a gun, a compass, I think a ring and a map or something like that?
I feel like it had some like assortment of things. Some of them I didn't take, but like I wasn't taking.
Yeah.
I wasn't like walking around with everything in my hands. I think I just saw some stuff at home, but
Okay, for sure. I didn't walk around with that in my hands too.
like looking at the compass, like
That thing.
the house is this way.
The compass didn't even work in the first place. It just had a button to spin around. If you clicked, it just spun the compass.
Isn't that the
around.
whole thing with Jack Sparrow though? The compass never worked.
Bro, the compass.
Yeah.
No, the compass points to what you want
it
most.
works.
But it
Yeah,
exactly
points to what you want most.
But people think it never worked. So maybe Brene had a magic compass. Maybe I had a magic compass.
Maybe you
both
did.
just-
We'll never know. I do remember like Viswa, you dressed up one time. It must have been like 6th grade. But you dressed up as like a ninja, and I can't remember from which franchise.
I think it was just a generic ninja.
That
that I-
might be true. Honestly, that might be true.
Generic ninja.
I was watching this show called like Randy something, ninth grade ninja,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
always did this cool smoke
You were
bomb
you
thing.
were Randy.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of it because his ninja outfit was like red and black, and I was like, "That's the best combination of colors ever." Because in sixth grade, I was like, "This is the greatest contrast I've ever seen in my life." So I did that. I'm pretty sure.
Yo, PJ, didn't you dress up as
That was
a
a good
monkey
time.
once?
What?
PJ, did you
What?
not
What?
dress up as a
Ah.
monkey?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So my early days with Captain Jack Sparrow. Later on, as I progressed in life, I wore all black, and I switched between two masks. The first one was like this. It's like kind of one of those like gold, like ghost, scary mask kind of things. It was that, and I had like this fake blood that I put on my face, and it was kind of
Nah.
nice. But then other times I had this monkey mask, which to this day is such a good mask. It is very nice. Maybe I'll post a picture on the Instagram. I have this one where I'm wearing that mask and also have like a suit or something. but like I would like climb up in our tree that like our tree in front of our house like overshoots like the sidewalk. So I climb up on the tree. And I'd only do this to people I knew, because if I did this to people I didn't know, that would be kind of I don't think that would go well. But like if I saw someone in my neighborhood that I knew that was walking past my house, I would literally just jump down, and I just like scare the bejesus out of them, and
Oh
they
my
just
God.
fucking run. They would run away. And one year I had the idea. I didn't do it. I had the idea of getting some fake blood and putting some fake blood on me too, and then acting like I was dead.
Oh,
But
God,
unfortunately,
it's
I
Harambe.
never did that. I never did that, unfortunately.
Unfortunate.
So you see, the thing is, Halloween is the only time when the real Pranay comes out. The rest of the year he's just like wearing his Pranay costume, but on the inside he's really a monkey.
Yeah, on Halloween,
That's-
Pranay takes off his mask.
Exactly.
Pranay, we see through your lies, your deceit.
Exactly.
Shit. Oh, what the hell?
You thought you could like get it past
this.
us? You could pull a sneaky on us? No, we're too perceptive.
No, dude, Pranay, I swear on God, loves to just climb trees. Like he just likes climbing things and just
I do like
literally
climbing
like,
trees.
like doing
This is a
parkour. Like
truthful statement.
you're straight up an ape, my man.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
earlier on the one of the earlier episodes on this podcast, Pranay, you told a story about how on Halloween night you saw a bunch of like random lights in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna go back? You gonna go back
yeah.
and check it out?
Yeah, you know, Cobb has been telling me. He's telling me like I have to go back and check this out tomorrow night. Yeah, I will. I guess I will go back and I will find the origin of those lights.
This is just in
This
some
is
random
the-
park.
this
This is
Swear
like
to
the
God.
beginning of like a very terrible horror movie.
Just want you to know, Pranay, if you don't come back,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything to look for you, because you're in Pennsylvania. I'm in Texas, and like I'm not traveling that far.
And you should walk all the way over here.
Dude,
to it. You should
I wouldn't even walk over to the next neighborhood for you. All right, I'm not gonna walk to Pennsylvania for you.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Oh God. Yeah.
It actually does remind me though. You guys remember there was like that whole clown scare around Plano?
Yeah, a couple of years
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
wasn't
I was
just
talking
in
about
Plano.
it.
Like that would start
Yeah, it was
happening all
everywhere.
over
It
the
was like
country.
yeah, but like we did have like some dude in like a clown costume hanging around Russell Creek.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what happened to that man?
Oh, we did.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
there was this one time he was gonna scare someone, or I don't know if he was gonna scare or like actually do, because he had a real knife on him. That was like the problem.
Oh
Right?
shit!
It was
Really?
like he was actually threatening to hurt people, and he had like real weapons on him. He wasn't just like doing it to like scare people, right? That's why it was like such a problem. Anyway, there's this one time that he like jumped out in front of this guy with his knife and like tried to scare him. But it turns out the guy was like ex-army, or like he was a Marine or something. So he actually just like
He just fucked
he
him
actually
up.
did. Dude, he just like
He just
actually ran
absolutely
this guy
fucked
down
him.
and started like beating him up. And then the,
Sorry,
Oh my god!
and then the clown
The
like
feeling when
just
you're a
didn't attack.
jungler and you like try to like gank the top laner, but then like he just starts like running you down. You're like, wait, this isn't how it's supposed to go.
It's too funny. Yeah, it's like you're trying to yank a Darius, man. Like it's
my
just
God.
not gonna end well for you 9 times out of 10. That's not a road you want to go down. Jesus.
I mean, after that, there was like no more attacks, so it clearly worked.
Damn.
Okay, this is like totally unrelated, but on YouTube, I've recently been watching these videos about like the boot camps behind like the Marines and like the Navy and like the RCMP in like Canada and stuff, and just seeing
Hmm.
like the drills that they have to go through or like the training they have to go through to become like an actual member and to like serve. And it's just really interesting to see like one, like the differences between how the US does things versus like Canada. Like, I'm not saying
Are they?
Canada's like much nicer, but
Uh,
they're like they teach like de-escalation, and in the US it's just like use your gun. This is how you use your gun. Aim your gun. Point your gun at them. And it's just like what the frick is this?
yep. Well, you know who made a lot of those guns? Winchester. Like Winchester rifles.
Oh yeah, I
Ooh.
have heard of
And
this.
that's actually a segue
Oh.
into a little bit of a haunted house story I have. So I don't know if
Oh,
you guys
do
know
tell.
about the Winchester house, but apparently it was a house built not by like the founder of the Winchester Rifle Company, but like his wife. So he died, and like he leaves behind like his like entire like fortune to his widow. Like he was like pretty like
Mm.
successful, right? So it was like a big fortune. Like he sold a lot of rifles, but his widow became like obsessed. She thought like the ghosts and like the spirits of like all the people who had been killed by Winchester rifles were like gonna come after her. So as a result, she started like building this massive house, and like she started building it in like 1890 something, and literally just did not stop construction ever until she died. Like for 30 years, she just kept adding like rooms and like stairs and like new floors and like new doors and shit like to this house. And she would like just like always change like where she was like actually living inside of the house, because she was like so afraid that she was gonna like get like killed by like or like whatever by like the spirits of like all the people like killed by like Winchester rifles or whatever. So
Mm.
she thought that like if she just kept like adding new rooms, the ghosts wouldn't be able to find her, which it doesn't make much sense. Ghosts can go through walls, but whatever. She was crazy.
So this is like a house that you can like visit.
Mm-hmm. Real house. I think you
Did
can
you
still go to it. I don't actually remember
visit
which
this
state it
house?
is. I'm just gonna look that up real quick. Winchester
Do they
House.
do like tours?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's in San Jose, California. It's now built as the Winchester Mystery House. I'm sure they have a big like business this
Commercial.
time of year, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you guys ever heard of that game West of Loathing?
I have not.
Yeah, I think I saw it on like
Nope.
Steam. Isn't it like some like stick
Sure, yeah,
figure
it's like
like
a
cowboy
stick
game?
figure cowboy funny. It's like hilarious actually. It's like super well made. But the entire DLC of that is this Winchester house.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
It's like a
Damn.
very comedic take on it, but yeah.
I can't believe this is the first I'm hearing of this house. Maybe I've heard of it before and just didn't really register like the history of it.
Yeah,
But
speaking
Yeah.
of these ghost games though, have you guys ever seen this game called Phasmophobia?
Oh yeah, Mr. Fruit did a
Ah,
video on it.
yes. Fruit has
Bro,
been playing
that
it
actually
quite a
looks so
bit.
fun.
It's hilarious,
yo,
dude.
we should all honestly play
Like the best
Phasmophobia.
part of it is like how jank it is. Like the physics engine like isn't all the way there, and it makes it so
They're
so
like
much better.
purposely, they're just like, once you get to 80% or like 70% of completing it, just stop. And the coders are just like, okay, I guess.
No, we should play it like at night, like past midnight, and like just
I
turn
hate
off all the
all.
lights.
I hate all of you. I hate
All the
you
lights.
guys.
It's turn them
Dude,
all
it's
off.
too creepy. Like even though the game's a bit bugged, like you're literally like I don't know. Horror games they scare me, but if we're all on board, I guess I have to.
Oh wait. That reminds me, Vispa. You remember like when we were like at the
Oh, I know what you're
apartments?
talking about. Yup. Oh
Yeah.
god.
All right. So let me set the scene. This
What?
was not on Halloween, right?
Okay.
But it's like a
Okay.
spooky, scary story nonetheless. So you know how
Okay.
like Vispa and I like live like basically like next door to each other when we were in the apartments. So there was
Yeah.
like one day where like Vispa was like over at my apartment, like it was like pretty late, like it was like after dark, and like we decided to like just like sort of like turn off all the lights in my apartment and just be like, ooh, like spooky, scary, like ghost stuff, like we were like
What
we
the
were like
hell?
joking around, right? Like we weren't actually scared, so we were like gonna go through like my apartment when it was dark, just like act like we were like all it was like all spooky. But here's the thing, so at the time I owned a set of like laser tag guns, and
And a
they had
shotgun.
like speakers built into them, right? Because like obviously it's gotta like go pew pew, but like also like it had like a little announcer, so like if you got hit, it would be like you're hit or you're out, and
Yeah.
like after a certain point in time, like if you just like leave it on, like it'll turn itself off. But before it turns itself off, it will just like announce really loudly, "Game over," and like it will just like shut down, right? So I'm in my room and like the gun's like on my bed or something, and I have my back turned to the bed, and I'm like kind of like rummaging through my closet, like I don't know why, like I already knew it was in there, but like whatever, kids are stupid. Um, and then I just like hear this like really loud voice from behind me. It just goes, "Game over," and I swear to God, I've never been more scared in my life.
It was actually so terrifying.
I mean, your game pretty much would have
Yeah,
died.
like I was like, "Oh shit, buddy, that's it, game over, I'm dead."
Bro, speaking of scary things, you want to know the scariest thing that's ever happened to me? I was
What?
I
What?
was at a zoo, right? Which,
Okay.
yeah, I was like probably, I want to say like early middle school, probably around that
Oh
age.
wait, hold on. You're being serious? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something like watching for naked zero extent points.
Yeah. the way you open that up, there's like the tone of hey, like some sarcasm, like hey, you want to hear something that happened to me? Yeah.
No, this is serious. This is the scariest thing that probably ever happened to me.
Okay,
I
okay,
was
okay.
probably-
okay.
probably
We'll
around,
listen.
go on,
We'll
on.
listen. We'll listen.
Probably like early middle school, right? And I was at the gorilla exhibit.
Early middle school? I'm
Extremely
kidding.
quiet. I was at the gorilla exhibit, right? And so you know how sometimes like the path is right next to the exhibit such that like the glass is like right up next to the path, right? There's like no
Yeah,
big like moat or anything like that around it, right? So
yeah.
there's just this glass between you and the gorilla. And it was this big silverback gorilla, and he was like basically sitting right next to the glass, right? So he was like
Mhm.
right there. So I put my hand on the glass, right? And then so this gorilla put his hand on mine, right? We're like, yo, this is pretty cool. The gorilla like, yo, we like have a connection, mental connection there.
Tarzan and Jane.
Yo, I was like, yo, the gorilla's pretty cool. But then I don't know what happened, but he got super pissed, he got super angry, and he just started banging on the glass, like actually going full force on this glass. And then this giant crack formed on the glass. I was like, yo,
Oh
dude,
shit!
Oh
I'm
my
actually about to die. I'm actually
Oh
about to
my
die. This
God.
gorilla's actually gonna kill me. But
Man,
then he got like I don't know if he calmed down or whatever, and he went to the other side of the enclosure. And I was like, oh, you know, I lived whole. I can't even believe it. But that was by far the scariest thing.
man, that gorilla was just like, "Oh shit, it was just supposed to be a prank, bro." Like, I'm sorry, bro.
These things happened to you guys fairly some time ago, but the scariest thing that happened to me was actually last year. Um, I was walking back from I forgot where I was walking back. I forgot from where, but I was just walking back,
Wait, you're in
and
Pittsburgh still?
there's a specific road to my dorm, to my
Okay.
dorm. So I'm in
So
CMU
this is
right now.
like just set the scene. This is like not. Is this a good place or is this shady?
Oh yeah. Let me set the scene. It is pitch dark outside. It's night. It's maybe like 12 or 1. Um, I was working in one of the buildings, away from CMU, or like on campus, but I decided to take the long way back to my dorm just because like I just wanted to walk a little bit. So I'm going down past this bridge, and so on this bridge, it's pitch dark. There's a lot of cars that actually go past this bridge, and police cars actually often go past this bridge too. But there's this little like nook and cranny in the road where cars often stop because they're trying to figure out the directions of where to go. And for some reason, that's where all of the cars stop. They stop in this exact nook. But the thing is, it's not like off the road. It's still on the road. It's like right next to the bridge. So it's right next to the sidewalk. And so this black, like massive sedan, or this big black van, um, picture the van you would think in organized crime, like some big black organized crime van, pulls up and stands next to that nook. And at first, I'm just like, okay, this is kind of sketch. It's a big black van. I can't see through the windows, but you know what? Maybe it is just someone looking for directions, because that's what honestly usually happens. So I go up and I'm walking into the closer I'm getting, like the more tense I'm getting, just because I just cannot see through this window. It is late at night. There's nobody around me. There are no cars either. For some reason, this is usually even in the night. This is a pretty busy place, but like there's still no cars. And I walk up right now. Now, like I'm like a yard away from the car. And I'm able to see through the side view mirrors a bit more. And I look and I can't see the person's face, but I see like a figure reaching into the glove compartment of the car and pulling out something dark, black and shiny. And I was like, "Oh my god, this may be my day." And then when I tell you I had the biggest rush of adrenaline I've had in my life, I still can't forget that moment. That's because I had so much adrenaline and I just boosted. It's like I'm a pretty fast person normally, but this is the fastest I've ran in my life. I started yeeting myself towards
Good job,
campus,
Renee.
and the person did not get out of the car and shoot me with a gun, fortunately. Um, but I did survive. I am here, and maybe honestly, he could have been pulling out like a black journal or something. Or he could have been pulling out something that wasn't even black. I wouldn't know, but I saw something black and shiny, and I just
Bro, he could
ran
have just been
for it.
pulling out in general. Like we just don't know.
Yeah, but I was not
Uh,
taking any risks.
That's good job, Renee. I knew your speed would save you one day.
Yeah, that's sometimes like whenever you're walking around in the night, I'm just like, someone comes at me, maybe I'd like to think I'm faster than him, and I can just like.
I mean, you
run.
probably are. Like, odds are, like, I think you are, but
Yeah, see, like the
probably.
thing is, I can't run very fast. So like whenever I go through that like hypothetical, I'm like, okay, I know if I try to run, they're gonna catch me because I can't run for shit. So I'm like, instead,
you
I
just
need to
fight.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I have to
You gotta
Yeah,
be
fight.
smart.
I
You
think
gotta
between
fight.
the four of us, I think Jacob and Pranay can just like run, and I think Noah and I have to just
Yeah,
kind of like,
like we have to like
we just have to fight.
yeah. Like honestly, my game plan, like somebody comes up with like I don't know, like a knife or something. He's like, get in the van, kid. Like my game plan, bite the shit out of them. Like I'm
Just bite his ear
just
off.
bite.
Yeah, no, don't fight fair. Like, hello.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck it. Like, I mean, like, honestly, I don't understand why like people don't like give that as a, like like better advice, like or like more advice, because they're like, oh yeah, you gotta like tuck in your elbows, like give them the whole like 1 2 yeah. But like honestly, like you could probably rip out somebody's
Yeah,
jugular with your like teeth, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
like let's be real, like you can bite through a steak, you can bite through somebody's like arm, like
You can bite off their finger.
yeah, you could probably kill them, honestly.
You bite off the dick.
Okay.
God.
If we're all like sharing, well, Pranay, but if we're all sharing stories where we, the scariest moment or thing we've experienced, the thing with Noah was pretty scary. I remember a different time, but it was still kind of with Noah.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about here.
I'm not sure if it's exactly what you're thinking. I don't know, but I'm at my house. Okay, so this is at my house.
So wait, is this
Actually,
pre or
I
post apartment?
no. This is post
Okay.
apartment, so I'm actually at my house. Although I do remember another time when Noah and I had like an entire situation
Yeah,
at
yeah, we
my
were like,
apartment.
yeah, it was like a sleepover, right? Like I remember that one. Yeah, yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
here, I'll just tell that one first. We had a sleepover. It's really quick. We had a sleepover at my house, and so it's like 1 a.m. where we're playing, I think, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean on my
Yeah.
Wii. We're like
We're like-
jamming. We're like,
yeah,
this
it's
is
like
the greatest game of all time.
It was like sixth grade, all right?
Okay,
Like
very nice.
we were middle school.
Well, honestly, the Lego games aren't even that bad, but yeah.
No, they're really good, honestly. And we were collecting like the purple coins, like the really high value
Oh,
coins. We
yeah,
were like,
boy.
we were vibing. But we started hearing the sound like outside of like the apartment, and we're just like, what the frick? So we're like panicking. We're like, what do we do? What do we do? And so there's a little patio like right outside like the kitchen door. So I think I grabbed like a cricket bat because this is like when I'm super into playing cricket. And Noah grabs like a pan or something. What did you grab, Noah? I don't even remember.
I think it was like a broom or something.
Yeah, I think Noah grabbed a broom, and we go outside to the patio, and there's literally nothing, and it's like pitch black outside, and we're just like standing there like idiots, and we're so cold, and then we just go back inside, and I remember we were so scared, but it was literally nothing.
No, like I'm pretty sure there's something else to it. Like you said that like you saw something.
Oh, I did see some. Oh
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot. Yeah, I did see some like shadowy figure like cross over.
Yeah, no, because like originally, like it was just like the sound, right? Like I
Yeah.
wasn't too concerned about it, and then like I'm just like, hey, that's weird. Like Visual, like you hear that? And he's like, yeah, that's weird. But then Visual's like, oh my god! And I'm like, what? What is it? He's like, I saw something. I saw something. I'm like, oh my god! Oh fuck! Oh god! Man, we're gonna die here, man.
It was so scary. Actually, yeah, I remember seeing something,
Yeah.
but we didn't see anything, at least when we went out there, and uh that's sort of that. But the second thing that I feel like was more scary was like I was in my house, so this is post apartment, and like everyone else in my house like was not home. Like I was the only one in my house.
Right,
The
and
lights
the lights
everywhere were
kept
like
turning on. Yeah, we've told the story.
no, this is a
No,
different
different
one.
story. Different
Oh,
story.
ooh, okay.
Yeah. So the lights were like pretty much off everywhere in the house, and so I'm sitting in my room, like I'm just like minding my own business. But I'm starting to run out of water, so like my resources are running low. I'm like I gotta go downstairs, like I gotta go in the dark. And at the same time, like right outside my room is like the attic to our house, right? And I'm like always hearing these sounds from our attic. I have no idea what they are. It's just like just sound. And um basically, I'm like kind of scared. Don't really want to go. There's no one else in my house. So I call Noah. Like that's my first course of action. So I call Noah over like Facebook Messenger or something. I'm like, this is a good plan. So I put Noah on speakerphone and I'm like, I take my water bottle. I'm like, no, I'm going outside. No, there's scary sounds in the attic. If you don't hear back from me, panic. So I'm walking with Noah on my phone and with my water bottle. So I go downstairs. I'm able to fill up my water bottle. And so I turn off like the lights when I'm going back upstairs because I can't waste electricity. Right. And so I'm just walking upstairs and then I just hear this scream. Like it's the most like it's this horrifying scream I've literally ever heard. And I'm just like freaking out. And so I boost like Pernay level, like boost my way upstairs, like into my room, like slam my door. And so I finally make it to my room and I'm like, what was that? And I'm just like panicking, talking to Noah. And Noah, I think Noah just starts laughing at me.
No, like, cause like you were just like, you're like, no, did you hear that? I'm like, you're what? Like, cause I didn't hear it, right? Cause like I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm like listen, like I have like earphones in. I'm like listening like to like this one. I'm like, hear what, dude? It's like, dude, it's like a child's like scream and like a child's laughter. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you okay, dude? And then, but then like I started like hearing something on my end. I'm like. And like I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, wait, is that coming from like Vispa? Or is that coming from me? So I take out my earphones and like it's coming from my house. And then I realize it's my little brother. He's just
This
like,
stupid ass brother screaming and laughing. I'm just over here having a panic attack.
yeah. But like I don't
Oh,
think I
God.
told Vispa right away. I just started laughing at him because I thought it was funny as hell. Man. Good times.
That is pretty
Good
funny. Not gonna
times.
lie.
Bad times. But after about hearing all of our horrifying experiences, some of them kind of legit, some of them not so legit. We have a sponsor. You guys know about that?
Oh,
We do?
oh.
Why?
Indeed.
On our first episode ever of this podcast, we teased an Audible sponsorship. I don't think it's Audible, but
I don't
we
think that was
teased.
a tease. I think that was a joke because none of us expected that to happen.
Yes, but
It was more like a plea, a beg.
Yeah.
like a joking sort of bag. Like we're like, hey, sponsor us, but like not really, but like yeah. But I never thought we'd reach this point, but we did. So why don't we give ourselves a round of applause? Yay. Yeah. And
That was just you, Jet.
well, I mean, I expected you guys to participate. Hello,
Oh, okay.
we're all in
Oh.
this together. High School Musical,
Clap, 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 clap.
Wait, that song was from High School Musical?
isn't it?
I don't know.
All right.
That's what
Well,
I'm
we're getting
asking.
off. We're getting off topic here. No, I'm like 87% sure it's from High School Musical.
Okay, I never watched High School Musical, so I'm going to take you at your word.
You should take my word, and you should
All right.
take this word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, today's sponsor is Anchor. No, not that kind of Anchor. Anchor is a podcast hosting site actually run by Spotify, and it's something that we personally use here at Stating the Obvious. And man, this system is actually insane. You can start your own podcast on the site and do everything from start to finish within the site itself. recording, editing, publishing, distributing. They take care of everything and they make it so simple and easy to do. They walk you through it every step of the way, and they have tons of unique and creative features like sound effects and a whole music library that is for you to use, and it makes things super, super easy. The best part of all is it's totally free, and you can use it from either your computer or your phone. Honestly, I prefer to use the computer, but the mobile app works generally pretty well for almost everything that you're gonna need. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you guys would like to start your own podcast, I would urge you to use Anchor. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. I just wanted to say that this is our first sponsor, and it's really, we never thought we'd get this far, honestly. We have over 20 episodes now, and we're still going strong. We have so much fun recording these episodes, and to get a sponsor, it validates it all. So we just want to thank you guys, the listeners, for actually responding to the podcast, listening to it, enjoying it, and we'll still be making it as long as we are having fun with it. So thank you. And thank you to Anchor for sponsoring today's episode. So let's get back to the episode.
And we're back after that brief word from our sponsor.
All right.
And now we will be taking it to our final segment of the Halloween edition of Stating the Obvious. Spooky, scary, unsolved mysteries.
It's spooky, scary skeletons.
No, there are skeletons involved.
There are skeletons involved.
Indeed.
And so for our first story, known as the Tex Arkana Moonlight murders. I live in Texas. This relates personally to me, but not really. Basically, here's the story, okay? In this small town, there is about a streak of 10 unsolved murders, all believed to be committed by the same person. All the victims were teenage couples, usually killed while doing it in their cars at midnight. You know how teenagers are.
Yeah.
And it got them killed. The incident came to be known as the Moonlight murder spree, and the mysterious killer came to be known as the Phantom Slayer. This threw the entire small town into a huge panic. People stayed inside all summer. No one went to work. They only went outside to buy food and weapons. Parents pulled their kids out of school. Pretty much every window in the town was boarded up. All the shops were shut down. This entire town basically was just shut down because of this one dude.
Bro, are you sure they didn't just have COVID a little bit earlier?
I don't know. Sounds like an insult to me.
An insult to
incel.
What? Oh, an incel. Wait, what's an incel?
You don't know what an incel is, Pranay?
Don't think so.
Wow, okay, Pranay. Alright, well, incel, if you don't know, is short for involuntary celibate. It's basically a bunch of people on the internet who are upset because they can't get any. They're all virgins, and basically they blame society. And it turned out it started out kind of sad and pathetic because you're wow, guys, fucking get a life. But apparently they're actually turning into a loose terrorist organization now. Yeah.
I don't know this at all.
Apparently
Okay.
the logic goes I can't get with anybody, so commit terrorism.
Yep, makes sense. And I have no idea if they obviously never solved the murder. That's the whole unsolved part of it. It was a string of around 8 murders. And the Texas Rangers came to investigate. They had this one super famous lone wolf Texas Ranger dude who came.
It's serious.
Yeah.
Texas
Walker,
Rangers
Texas Ranger shows up.
Yeah, some youth even took matters into their own hands, and they tried to bait the Phantom so that they could kill him. So I guess they went into their cars and were baiting him, but maybe they just
They were
hey Susan, come here. You gotta do it again in the car. And she's really? Is this really necessary? Yeah, we gotta catch the killers, Susan. Or if we don't do this, is more innocent people gonna be killed? Come on, this is police work.
By the way, PJ, I got that joke.
yeah, they but either way, I continue to.
Yeah, so there was one person they suspected. He was never convicted. And then, in 2014, a book was released about it called The Phantom Killer, Unlocking the Mystery of the Texarkana Serial Murders. And there's also a film that was made after it called The Town That Dreaded Sundown. And it's basically a town that just goes into a massive level of like quarantine because of these just murders that continually happened. The first one was actually a double murder, and like this guy actually continued to do like pretty much always just he killed couples. Like he never killed like anyone by themselves.
Ooh. Maybe maybe it was two, two imposters.
Yes, the people he killed
It's a
are the
double kill.
imposters, not him. Definitely makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm always a fan of a good unsolved murder.
Are you really?
I'm always a good fan.
I don't know what that's really supposed to mean.
It's fun. Like, when you like look at all the clues, you're like trying to figure it out. It's like when you're watching like a mystery movie.
That is true.
Like you kind of enjoy, you're like inspecting everyone. You're like, are they lying? Like, who could have done it? Like, who did it? Right. So, yeah, that's about it. I know we each have a story lined up, so I will let one of you guys take it from here.
Yo, PJ, I want to hear your story.
Okay, fine. You
I wanna hear
Yeah,
it.
we'll just go in the same order we did at the beginning. So, Pranay.
Okay,
Noah?
so my story, it comes from Radiolab. I talk about this quite a lot. Very good podcast. I'm plugging it again. Good podcast. Go listen to them. But
Not gonna lie, they should plug us.
where
but,
this story is. I'm working on it, Cobb. Don't worry, I'm working on it. Okay, so in 1562, I have this pulled up. I have the dates pulled up. King Philip II, I think he needed some miracle because his son had fallen like very, very ill. And this is the crown prince, this like 17-year-old guy named Don Carlos. He fell down a flight of stairs, actually. And he just like fucking like killed his entire immune system. He just, for some reason, this guy's very fragile. He fell down a flight of stairs, then he was like dead. He was bleeding, blistering. He had fucking everything going on that was wrong with his body. And so what happened was all the doctors in Spain, everywhere, they're trying to save him. And then King Philip like sat down and they tried everything, man. They tried like amputating some shit or like as far as medicine could go in 1562. Because this is like the king of Spain. At this point in time, he's like one of the biggest people in the world. So one thing that they did try is the king like got the dead body of a friar. I forgot. No. Eventually, I forgot what the saint's name was, but there's a person in Spain who was a saint. And so they got his dead body, and they had this like dead corpse like sit in the sleep in the bed. Yeah, a dead corpse sleep in the bed next to Don Carlos, the King Philip II's son. And so after all the doctors tried everything and shit, like nothing worked. But then the next day when they woke up, they had like the Don Carlos guy who woke up completely fine. Like, I mean, obviously he was still a bit injured, but he didn't have like the fevers and shit that he had the other day. And like he was on the path of recovery pretty much. And like none of like the I guess like the common medicine such as like trying to bleeding the kid out or like purging whatever the fuck was inside his body. Nothing really helped to like heal his head wound. That's what he had. But then he woke up and then he said like in his sleep, when he was sleeping, he had this vision of this friar, like holy figure coming. And apparently the dead guy next to him, except he was in like full flesh and stuff. And he came to like the guy's body and he said like, hey, I'm gonna give you this miracle. God is saving you. Now your dad needs to repay God with a miracle of his own. And then he woke up and like obviously Philip II was very, very happy. He was like, holy shit, like we just laid a dead person in bed with my son, and now all of a sudden, I mean, granted the dead person wasn't like a holy figure. He was like, now I have to provide God with a miracle. And he had no fucking clue how to do this. Like, obviously, like, it was like God. He just, like how you gonna do that? But at that point in time, remember, no, this is 1562. But he did eventually find a way. He, like his, like, supposed miracle. He found this clockmaker. I forgot what his name was, but he found this clockmaker in Spain, fairly famous clockmaker. And what they did is he made like this automaton thing. It's like a wind up. You know how you have like your wind up toys, I guess, that like keep on moving around. But so in 1562 they had this guy, and he commissioned this automaton for this 450-year-old like monk guy. That was the dead guy who they put his corpse in the bed next to him with. They had him make this automaton of this guy, and it's actually very like it is fairly creepy, like the actual automaton itself. But like the fact that it's like, I mean, that itself is a kind of a miracle, because it's like in 1562 this guy is making this kind of robot figure pretty much that could.
Hey, is there like a
act
mystery in here
a
somewhere?
little way. The mystery part was I kind of glossed over it. It was the guy who
What?
came out of his sleep.
Renee, that was the whole
He
point.
came out of his sleep. He came out of his sleep, and he was all healed, and
Oh my
the
God.
ghost came and saved his soul, and that was it.
Bro, what a mystery.
What a mystery.
That
It's
was
obvious
mystery.
what happened. The
That was
dude like
mystery.
rolled a nat 20 on his divine intervention check.
What the?
Yep, God was just
I didn't
like,
even know there's.
"You're good. You're good, fam. No
Yep.
worries." And now he's chilling. Well, he's probably dead now, but you know he was chilling.
Well, yeah. Chilling for a limited time only.
Okay. Well,
Very nice.
Well,
Great
I
story.
was
Yeah.
gonna say that like my story is like, a little bit on the like less Halloweeny side, but I was not expecting Pranay to just be like, yeah, let me tell you about like this like Spanish prince from like 1562 who died and then didn't.
made it.
He died and did it, man.
All
It
right,
was a
well, I
miracle.
will tell you. All right, well, bringing it back to the 21st century, this is not really a mystery, I guess, unless like you're like really into UFOs. You think there might be like aliens out there, but some of you might remember last year when footage was apparently released by the Pentagon depicting unidentified flying objects seen by Navy pilots. And this was like actual footage from their aircraft. Like they had been like doing like combat exercises, like I think it was like over like the Pacific Ocean or something. And then like you can see it very clearly in the footage. If you haven't seen, like, I encourage you to look it up. It's like publicly available. But like you can see like this like object, and they're like, you can hear like the pilots like radioing like back to like their command. They're saying like, no, what's this, like what the hell is that? And like it just like zips, and they're like, yo, what the fuck was that? And I mean like I thought it was like pretty interesting, because we haven't really seen like official footage like that, much less released by the Pentagon, showing what appears to be unidentified flying objects. And like that was like a big thing. It was like in the news, and then like it kind of like dropped off. But I went to like go look it up and like see like what's happening. And apparently there is now a congressional committee called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, and they are actually currently investigating these reports of like UFOs, and they are expected to release their report sometime at the end of this year, so around December-ish, I think. And wouldn't that just be like typical 2020? Just end it off with like aliens are
very end,
real and
just
they're gonna
figure out,
come and like destroy us.
Yeah, that would be kind of.
Or I'll just be like,
Hated,
yo,
I
this is
guess.
some new
Hey,
tech.
was it? Didn't Hillary Clinton, when she said if she became president, she would release like all this information about aliens and stuff?
That does not sound like a very Hillary Clinton thing to say.
I don't think she would have said
I swear
aliens.
She said this at some point.
Yeah, like let's be honest, Hillary Clinton does not have a sense of humor at all.
And release.
Like people would probably say like, "Hey, do you have anything about like UFOs and aliens?" You'd be like, "You want to talk about aliens? Let's talk about Mexican immigrants and how we need to reform immigration laws."
That is.
Wait, I
all
swear,
probably
this
verbatim.
is actually a thing. She said she promised. Okay, in the past, she said if she became president, she promised to share government info on UFOs.
Huh. Well, she didn't.
Rip.
Well, she did become president, and unfortunate.
Yep.
No, I want to know about UFOs, just saying.
Yeah, I kind of do too. Like apparently, Marco Rubio said like he thought that there was a possibility that like some other country had achieved a technological leap that had allowed them to achieve this sort of activity. So I don't know, maybe China's out there like yeeting these like spacecraft like through the air.
It still begs the question, like, what's in Area 51?
Ooh, I think I can actually answer that in part. So the reason why like Area 51 is like so secretive is because it's like a testing ground for like secret US combat aircraft. So that's like where like stealth aircraft were like developed and tested. Like that's where like all these like the SR-71 Blackbird, like all these like top secret cutting edge aircraft that the US developed, like that's where they were tested. So like one, like obviously you're gonna have like super high security because you don't want like some like spy coming in, but like two, like that's like why there was like a lot of like UFO sightings, because like people would see something like like the B-2 stealth bomber, which is like literally a flying triangle, and they'd be like, whoa, that's like a UFO, but like no, it's just like a flying Dorito that we made to deliver nukes.
Wasn't that like developed in the image of like a falcon?
What? The B-2?
Yeah.
Dude, the thing looks nothing like a falcon. Like I'm telling you, it looks like a flying Dorito.
From the
It looks like a flying Dorito.
From the side.
From the side, like I don't. It's like.
Like, is it not based on like a falcon's aerodynamics? Like I feel like I read that it was based on the falcon.
Maybe like vaguely, but like it's literally just a triangle. It is a triangle with a nuke in it.
Yeah, it is based on a falcon.
All right, well, it's a fucking weird looking falcon.
Like from the side view, it looks pretty much exactly like a falcon.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah,
It is good to know.
Yeah. Well,
Uphill, by the
Jacob, I think we are now on to you. Do you have any scary, spooky mysteries for us?
but yeah, this one is from Reddit, so not mine at all. But okay, apparently this dude, he's in 6th grade, and this story is about his science teacher, right? So this is back in like the 70s, right?
Mhm.
So apparently the science teacher, it's pretty cool dude. Like the students like him. He's a pretty popular teacher. Yeah, science teachers are usually like that when you're at a young age, right? But it turns out that this guy is suspected of murdering his wife and feeding her body to his pet alligator. Apparently, when like this dude, he would invite the class over to see all his pets because he had a bunch of exotic animals in his house. Like he had a Gila monster, he had alligators, he had all these different kinds of exotic breeds, and people came to his house and they used to feed his alligator, and they didn't know what they were feeding, but they now suspect that it was his wife that they were feeding to the alligator. But
Jesus.
I mean, but
Bro, I can't even, man.
like
I can't even. Like, what?
the weirdest part is
What the
like none of this was ever proven, so he's just like out there somewhere, and now no one can find him.
You could probably find them.
Well, they're not trying.
That sixth grader probably fed him to the alligator.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that,
Wonder what
that'd be
happened to that
so
alligator.
weird.
What kind of human? Like, what kind of fucking human being? Like, why would you hate your wife that much?
Oof.
Why would you invite like a class of like middle school kids to come feed your wife to the alligator?
The 1970s were a different time. Actually, like now that like
pretty
When was
horrifying,
the Zodiac killer?
like honestly, like I feel like most of these like serial killer like unsolved mystery like things, like most of them are like from like the 60s and 70s. Like I don't know, like you guys, we haven't had like any like real like serial killer things.
Because it's a
Well,
lot
about, like,
easier to track
recently, I don't
people,
think.
right? It's like a lot easier to
I
track
guess.
people.
Yeah, I don't like. Do you guys like remember any like serial like killers being in the news recently? Because
I do know there was this one. It was this crazy story, but basically, it was more recent. I think it was still like a while ago, but it's a bit more recent. Where this guy would basically just open the front door to people's houses, like, and what I
What?
mean by that, right, is he'll walk around the neighborhood or like wherever he is, right, and he'll try and open the front door, and if the front door is not locked, he'll go inside and he'll kill whoever's in the house.
Did they ever catch him?
I don't think they did. It was like in
Damn.
California somewhere.
I don't remember that at all. I would have thought that was like be a bigger story or something.
So if you locked your door, you're good though.
That's also true. Or like, maybe he could like pick your lock.
Bro, maybe he was just doing a service telling people to lock their doors.
It could be.
Okay, that's a fairly severe.
No, it's artificial. No, don't you see? It's artificial selection, right? Like, at some point, if he kills everybody who doesn't lock their doors, the only people left will be a door locking population.
Is that a good population?
Christ. Yeah, I remember that one. That one was like kind of freaky to me. Immediately after reading it, I just went and made sure my front door was locked. I was just like, you know what? No chances. No chances.
Dude, nobody would try that here in Texas. They would get shot immediately. Like,
Yeah.
let's be
pretty
real.
much.
Like, they wouldn't even like have to like actually get in. They would just have to like show up on like some dude's
just
front
gonna
door and then like
stand on the
yeah,
lawn,
like
and
I
the guy just
guarantee
be
you,
like,
I guarantee you, there are like so many people out here who are just like just waiting. They're just like, give me a fucking reason, man. I'll do it. I'll stand my ground.
Yeah, I remember like about recent serial. I remember there was this dude recently who there was he like kidnapped girls, but like not teenagers or like anything like toddlers and babies, right? And he used to like raise them in his basement, and then like
bro, why is he doing this in his basement? Can he give them some like livable conditions? What the fuck? I don't know, man. It pissed me
He's
off.
a bit of a psychopath, Renee. So, I mean, if you'll excuse
me
him
off.
for, being a psychopath.
I don't know, whatever. What? And then like, so there's this one girl who was like kidnapped as a baby, and like everybody just assumed she was dead, right? But this is like 13 years later, so obviously like nobody's expecting her to come back. But she somehow escapes from this house, and obviously she has no idea. Like she just has never been
Oh,
exposed
yeah.
to the world.
I remember this story, actually.
So like
yeah.
she just has no idea what's going on. But like she ends up getting like going to the police, and like she can barely talk, right? Because she hasn't been like educated or anything. Like if you didn't have education, you just don't know what words are.
Yeah.
Like she just like couldn't even like talk properly. But like that girl coming out of that house was like how they found him eventually.
Mm.
I don't know. That's just like being exposed to the world all at once. I don't know. That's just like an overload of information.
Yeah, it feels like a pretty
Bro, that's,
must have been like pretty traumatic, honestly.
bro.
Yeah, but like all the people are like speaking this like weird language or like sounds that you've never heard of before. Like all you know has been in that house.
Bro, I
That's
swear.
literally like
I have to walk back to my house after this recording, and I have to do this in the dark.
And
I swear
Bro,
to
you're not
God,
looking
Renee,
forward
like
to
you
it.
can
I
you
will
can outrun the
perish.
danger. You can just speed.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully, I'm gonna have to run as fast as
But
I
like
can.
honestly,
No one can catch me. I'm the fucking dude.
Bro, you
I
know-
feel like
you know
we
they're
don't
gonna
really
make it-
have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Yeah,
JJ.
yeah. You know what they're gonna make PJ do? Yo, I bet you once PJ goes outside, he'll see this like black sedan. He'll start bolting. Even if the sedan doesn't start, he'll just start bolting.
I don't care. Yeah, what the fuck the sedan is doing? I will not stop until I reach my house. I will not
Like
stop.
I can just imagine like this dude like pulling up in like a van, like come on, let's go kidnap him. Pernay just starts running, and they're like, ah shit, he's getting in the way. Like they start up the van, they're trying to catch him, but Pernay just like picking up speed. They're like flooring the accelerator. Like what the fuck? It's like at like 100 miles per hour. Pernay just like running faster.
after this-
Renee eventually becomes a ball. He starts like spin dashing as Sonic.
Oh,
Like he's
shit.
like, go.
But after this recording, they're gonna like throw their pet alligator at him, and then he's gonna end
Oh,
up sleeping next to
God.
the king's son, and then he'll heal him. So like,
Aw,
win-win.
But like on a less meta note, like I really do feel like all those like those killers like who were like infamous like not because like they caught him because like they did just like had a calling card like the Zodiac killer and like the Golden what was like the Golden State killer or something like that. But
Something
like
like that.
I feel like all those people wouldn't like have a chance of like getting as far as they did like today.
Nowadays,
Because like if you have a calling
Yeah.
card, like that's like just more data to add to the pile, and like nowadays,
also we can just hack you. Like, you just die. NSA it probably already knows that you're a fucking serial killer.
I mean, it's just the ability to track people now is just much better than it was like.
There's
you
like
know,
probably
few
a
decades
camera
ago.
almost like nearly everywhere there's people.
Yeah, like if you use any sort of like materials or whatever to commit the crime or murder, like, it can be traced back to like only so many places within like the city where you could buy those materials, like so on and so forth. And there's cameras everywhere. Like, it can be like pretty easily deduced. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd imagine it's much harder now, but
Which like begs the question: how do people get away with it still?
Well, like with murder or with like serial murder?
Serial.
Well, I don't know if people still get away with like a lot of serial murder. If they do, then like they probably don't like have a
I haven't
pattern.
heard of a serial killer.
Yeah, like because like the thing about like it's just like random murder, right? It's like you could probably kill like one person and get away with it, just because like there's no data really to go off of. But like as soon as like you start like doing it like as a pattern, then that's like when I think your like chance of being caught like goes up like exponentially, right? Because like the more
yeah.
people you kill, like unless you're doing it just like completely randomly, like no pattern, like no motive whatsoever, like then there's gonna be like data. It's like gonna build up, and like at some point, like they're gonna figure you out.
Bro, this was supposed to be about scary stories, and we like freaking turned into Sherlock Holmes.
I mean, you know what's really scary? Fucking facial recognition, man. Like, just think about it. Like,
China.
like at some point, like it's gonna happen where like police just like or like the government or like whoever just like have the ability to like figure out where you were like just like 24/7.
I mean, they already have that
They already
ability,
have
quite
that.
honestly.
Even like I mean, like literally, they could just like pick you up off the street.
But also, there's like
Yep,
so many
they go.
people. Like, I don't know. What's the chances they're really using that for like bad or
I mean,
evil?
they're not like necessarily, but they like can if they want to. It's sort of like the thing that's like sus about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like they're already using like sort of like internet search data to like find people. There's like this like one story I heard where apparently like after the Boston Marathon bombing happened, there was like this woman who like had just been like happening to search for like backpack and like pressure cooker because she was just like trying to like buy those things because like I guess like her pressure cooker broke and she needed like a backpack for her kids for like back to school or something. And because she had like searched those two items, like the FBI showed up at her door, like for no other reason than because she had like just like Googled those two items and like they picked up on that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like honestly, now a lot of like mysteries that we even talked about before, in like our previous episodes, it has some link to the government. Like the acid rain thing might have been like a government experiment. Like the government has done some pretty like messed up things historically, so and condoned some pretty messed up things.
Yeah, but
Uh,
there's no
watch
real
our
way to
watch our
stop that.
podcast just get like removed off Google
Yeah.
Podcasts all of a sudden. Like our FBI agents are just listening to it.
I
Like,
mean, like it doesn't even
I don't
have
like
to
the
be
sound of
like
this.
the.
They're just shaking their heads. They're just like these.
I
That's
mean,
my
like it doesn't
favorite
even
internet
have to
conspiracy,
be.
though.
Yeah, you used to have like a personal FBI agent.
Like every single person has their own FBI agent that just responds to this and watches everything that they do. It's my favorite theory ever.
It reminds me, it's like back in the day, like the church would be like, "Don't worry, you have like a personal angel, like a guardian angel looking down upon you." Now we're like, "Yo, we got our like FBI agent, like he's like watching me through the screen. He's got my back."
Dude, it's pretty good.
But
It's actually my
I
favorite.
mean, like honestly, like it doesn't even have to be the federal government though. Like, we've seen over the past year just like all those like videos of like police just like beating the shit out of people. Like, imagine those guys having access to like facial recognition technology, the ability to just like find people wherever they are.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps up this episode before we further go into like a Black Mirror is the root of this
Yeah.
podcast.
Bro, some people just walk past the window in the room that I'm in. And I just had a heart attack. I'm not. I'm not joking with you. They just walk past like, oh fuck.
Renee's like body is just like, all right, buddy, like you say the word, we're getting the fuck out of here.
I really don't know where I would go if someone came through my door. That's the only way out of this
I
room.
don't know, like through the window.
Renee, this time you'll have to fight. I think
Oh no, man.
there's nowhere to
Yeah.
fight.
Oh no.
You gotta,
Okay,
you gotta,
but-
like, you gotta just like pump it up, man. Just, Speed boost.
I
What?
guess if I do go fast enough, I can go
Oh
through
my.
the wall.
Just like
Oh,
you just see like
just run
Renee, like
straight through it.
yeah, just like break through the wall like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. If I was a serial killer and like a dude, like I was trying to kidnap someone, and whoever I was trying to kidnap just made a bunch of sexual sounds, I'd probably leave him, man. I don't know, yo.
So that's
your
my
defense
getaway. That's
mechanism.
how my getaway.
You know, honestly, like
Honestly, Joey would never kidnap you.
if you just start doing like if someone wants to kill you or they want to kidnap you, if you just start doing a lot of like weird shit, like I think they just might leave you alone.
Yeah,
Like I think they'll just be like,
if you can-
is it worth, right? Like,
Yeah.
is it worth to really kidnap this weirdo? And they might just leave you alone. So there's your tip for this Halloween. If you do get cornered and you know you're out trick or treating or going to a party, even though you know you should stay safe, don't
Yep.
pandemic. But you know if you do, keep that in mind. Be weird.
Yeah, here's your stating the obvious safety advice for this Halloween. If you're being kidnapped, pretend to be a furry. Just say, ooh woo, daddy.
And it might just save your life.
Why do you seem so scared? All I wanted to do was play with you. Please come and play with me. 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 And play with me.